Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula.
And today we're going to talk about The Rule of Jenny Penn, a New Zealand horror thriller from director James Ashcroft, who you may know as the director of the extremely depressing Coming Home in the Dark, a movie that we saw a couple years ago that depressed the hell out of us, but was really good.
It's a really good movie, but man.
So, needless to say, this movie, despite how dark it is less depressing than that movie.
Yes.
We'll say that right off the bat.
Yeah.
But it is about dark things. This movie stars Geoffrey Rush as a judge who suffers from a stroke, ends up in an old folks home, and then is relentlessly bullied by John Lithgow, playing a crazy man who uses a puppet that he calls Jenny Penn to harass everyone in the old folks home at night when the orderlies are not about.
It's a movie about elder abuse.
Yes, it is an elder abuse movie. But more than that, interestingly, that's the surface level what the movie's about, right? You got the elder abuse, that's what's literally happening in the movie.
Yeah.
But what's really going on in this movie is about a man who's spent his life blaming victims.
Yes.
Becoming a victim.
Yeah.
And then seeing how the system fails victims, realizing that he's on his own with dealing with the victimizer.
Yeah. Dealing with the abuser. You're on your own.
That's the meta-narrative of the movie. But literally, it's Geoffrey Rush in a bed being tormented by John Lithgow every night.
Yeah. And the both of them are firing on all cylinders.
Oh my God.
You know?
They are so good that they're acting circles around everyone else in the movie, and everyone else in the movie is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
They're all doing good. It's just these two are just geniuses. They're masters of their craft, and they're playing off one another for most of the movie, and it's brilliant each time.
Yeah.
But that's not to say the performances are the only reason to watch this movie. I actually really liked the visual flares of this movie.
Yeah.
It kind of has almost like a De Palma feeling to it.
Yeah, there are definitely some times, particularly in the Lithgow scenes, where
Yeah.
it looks like a De Palma film.
There's a point in which John Lithgow is in a split diopter shot, and I'm sitting there going okay, I feel like I'm watching that De Palma movie all over again.
Yeah. Raising Cain.
Raising Cain.
That's right. Raising Cain.
That was Raising Cain. In Raising Cain, he was kind of going crazy in that movie. So the shots that felt very De Palma-esque, where you have John Lithgow going crazy, just made me think of Raising Cain.
Yes.
Especially since, much like in Raising Cain, there's a song he's obsessed with in this movie.
Oh, that's right.
That he keeps singing when he's going after these people.
Knees Up Mother Brown, which is, you'll probably remember when you hear it as you're like, that sounds familiar. It's a Mary Poppins.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this movie is really good. I like the way it looks. I like the acting. There's really nothing to complain about.
No. It's a great movie from start to finish.
It's a super great movie, and I love the third act of this movie, which we'll talk about in the spoiler section, because there's a point in this movie where I realize I have no idea what's going to happen now.
Yeah.
All avenues have been exhausted, so what are the characters going to do next?
Yeah.
I like where the movie goes with it, because it takes a lot of things that were set up earlier in the movie and goes in a direction with them you probably did not expect.
Yeah. The coolest aspect of this movie is just waiting for the next moment that one of these guys tries to kill the other and get away with it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. I also like all the subtle fucked upness of this character, because this isn't like a slasher movie. We're not like seeing him sneak into people's rooms and stab people to death. It's more hands off is not the right word, but it's less direct than that.
Yeah. The whole point of him doing this is to torment people.
Yes. He's tormenting people while they're in bed and they can't move. He's forcing them to lick his, the top of the wrist.
So he puts the Jenny Penn thing on his hand, and then when he's done, tormenting you with it, he turns his wrist down. He's like, now lick her asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're supposed to be under the rule of Jenny Penn, hence the rule of Jenny Penn.
Yeah.
She's the queen, and he is just the person distributing the queen's orders. But as the movie goes on, it becomes very clear that Jenny Penn isn't actually a thing. He is just an asshole.
Yeah. He's not, he's crazy, but he's not schizophrenic or dissociative or anything.
It's not anything like that.
He's just a psychopath.
He's just a psychopath who's decided to use his own therapy doll to torment people.
Yeah.
That's basically it. He's a bully. He is the worst kind of bully, the kind that leads to people dying.
Yes.
But it's like in indirect ways. Like he will find someone who's having like a health crisis, and it's an old folks home, so this is happening every fucking day, and just like, you know, shut the door and let them suffocate to death or something. You know? It's stuff like that on top of the like tormenting them in their beds at night.
Yes.
And stealing their shit too. He also does that.
Yeah, and it's very obvious. Like he doesn't pick on able-bodied people.
No.
Because that would not, that shit is not gonna fly, because he's old.
He's still old. He's more able-bodied than most of the people he's tormenting.
Yeah, which is clearly part of the kick.
Like, there's a point where you watch him run across the entire, like, compound, and he's losing his breath by the end of it, but he's not like having a full-on heart attack.
Right.
Like most of the other characters would if they had done that.
Yeah. Or he's moving faster than everybody else because like they literally can't move that quickly.
You get the impression if it wasn't for him being a crazy piece of shit, he for the most part doesn't need to be in the home.
Correct.
He could actually handle living on his own outside.
Yeah. He's choosing to be here.
Exactly. Which makes him an even bigger piece of shit.
Although I gotta say, all my favorite moments is Geoffrey Rush just looking mad in a wheelchair.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. So The Rule of Jenny Penn is a Shudder original movie. It is currently on Shudder, so go check it out and enjoy it. We enjoyed it, and I think it's time we move on to the spoiler section. So we can talk about
might as well.
All the stuff that happens at the end of this movie, because it's not like there's a lot of twists and turns in this movie.
Well, there are, but they're all in the details.
They're all in the details. It's a good way to put it. It's all in the details. So here are the spoilers. I guess the first like reveal, twist and turn in the movie is the fact that this guy isn't just in this facility. He used to work in the facility.
Yeah.
And he used to work in the facility when he was like a teenager.
Yeah, so he has been here for years.
He has never left. His entire life has been in this facility. And there is a question. Did he torment the people there when he was still young?
Almost definitely.
Given the way he acts in this movie, most likely, yes.
Yeah, this has been going on for decades.
Absolutely. So he is just a colossal monster of a human being.
Oh yeah, you hate him so much.
Absolutely. And you also enjoy watching his flaws come out.
Yes.
Because he's so good at manipulating the situation. There's so many scenes in this movie where the characters are like, he did this thing, but he's manipulated the situation in such a way that no one believes that person. But you love watching scenes where he like fucks up. There's this entire extended sequence where he leads this one woman off and ends up accidentally losing his own key card in the process.
Yeah, thereby like leaving vital evidence that could point to him.
Yeah, so he has to like run back and get his key card after he just
it's a great scene.
Convinced her to run off into the woods to her own death and finds her like face first in a puddle. Like there was no way she was going to survive very long out there. She's a person with dementia and she's old as shit. The first fall, she's not going to get back up, you know? And unfortunately that first fall is in a puddle. So
yeah, so she didn't get back up.
She didn't get back up. But watching him fail like that, you go like, oh no, like he's not like otherworldly.
Right.
He's not like a mad genius. He's just an asshole.
Yeah, he's not a demon or anything.
He has found a way to game the system in a way that benefits him and allows him to get away with it, but he is, at the end of the day, human.
Yeah.
I love the way this movie portrays Geoffrey Rush's mental issues.
Ooh, yeah.
He's obviously dealing with a cognitive decline. He has episodes where he's just somewhere else.
Yeah, as a result of the stroke, he's sundown.
And the way the film films those sequences and edits those sequences where he's like in the middle of a conversation and the next thing you know, he's in a different room somewhere because he's been wheeled off for his therapy session and he has no idea what's going on. And Geoffrey Rush's performance, when that happens, it's all just done so pitch perfectly. That's a part of the movie that probably is not going to get talked about as much as the John Lithgow of it all.
Well, yeah, because John Lithgow's just chewing that scenery the entire time.
But it is probably like the better performance of the two.
It's the more impressive one.
Yes, exactly.
You know, like
it's the subtler one, it's the quieter one, but is also the more impressive one.
Yeah.
You know, that's not to say anything bad about John Lithgow.
Oh God, no.
He is a blast to watch. He is a
You love watching John Lithgow play this character you absolutely want to see die.
You can also tell he's a character in a state of arrested development.
Oh, yeah.
There's like a scene early on in the movie where he like sneaks off to have a smoke. And he talks to Jenny Penn like Jenny Penn is his accomplice. And they're sneaking off to have a smoke like teenagers and they don't want dad to find out.
Right.
And there's a lot of little moments in the movie where you realize that's basically all he is. He never grew past being a teenage asshole. Mm-hmm. And even though he's old and his teeth are rotting out and he can barely fucking like, run without having to pull out his inhaler, he's still that teenage asshole.
Yep.
Which is a great contrast to Geoffrey Rush, who's a character who became a prolific judge. He's highly educated. He's well-read. He's a person that made something of himself. And yet somehow both characters realize midway through the movie that they're both stuck.
Yeah.
They both resign themselves at some point to be a bully in some way.
Yeah.
And that's some of the best scenes in the movie is watching the two characters, like, their different ways of dealing with that revelation.
Yeah. Because you have Geoffrey Rush who's sort of like realizing it and is somewhat regretful.
Yes. At the beginning of the movie, you watch him just lay into a mom whose children were raped by this one guy that he's judging.
He's sentencing.
He's like blaming her the entire time. Yeah. It's full on a victim blaming tirade before he has his stroke. He kind of realizes when he reaches this point, when he's having that conversation about his life and the choices he's made and how there was an alternative path that he didn't take. And at some point he just ended up being this guy, but he can't remember when he started being this guy.
Yeah.
That's like the moment where he's realized, oh, no, I was wrong to do that. I fucked up. And I've been doing this to other people my entire life as a judge.
Yeah.
I've been judging them all, but I am no better than any of them.
Yeah. It's kind of weird because in the hands of any other actors, the climax of this movie would have been anticlimactic.
Mm-hmm. I know exactly what you mean.
But because it's Geoffrey Rush and John Lithgow, it really sings.
Also, kudos to the way that James Ashcroft films that entire sequence and like puts it together. That sequence is probably the most De Palma of anything in the movie.
Oh yeah, when the door comes back and there's fucking Geoffrey Rush just...
Yeah, and like the colors, it's like almost Argento-esque.
Yes.
Leading to the climax of him getting suffocated on that pile of towels, which feels like such an anticlimactic thing to happen, but the way it's filmed, and because these characters are all crippled, it feels huge.
Yeah.
Even though it's a really small thing.
Yeah, they're like, we did it. We killed the monster. We killed John Lithgow.
And it's ultimately a mundane way to slay the beast.
Yes.
But it is an ultimately effective one.
Yeah. They kill John Lithgow's character and they get away with it.
And on a script level, it's great because it brings together these things that have been set up throughout the movie. Like, for example, how that one section of the laundry room is rarely ever checked.
Yeah.
Geoffrey Rush's roommate at the old folks' home uses that place to hide from John Lithgow.
Yeah.
So they know using that to be the place where they're
going to do it.
They're going to do it. The chances of them finding the body right away is going to be limited, so it's the perfect place. And the chances of them being caught in the act,
it's basically zero.
Going to be limited, so their chances of getting away with it are
plus,
higher.
Because they suffocated him and he has like a breathing problem, they're just going to assume that he just dropped dead.
Oh, another scene I fucking adored was the scene in which Geoffrey Rush finally starts fighting back himself and not just trying to rely on the system.
Right.
And sneaks into his room and...
Oh my God.
And you're wondering, what did he do in the room? And then in the next scene, when he's being tormented by John Lithgow exerts himself too much, but his inhaler's empty because Geoffrey Rush
has emptied all his inhalers.
Yeah, and he runs back to his room while choking and like dying, and all the fucking inhalers are empty. Yeah. That was great. Great setup, great payoff, great reveal.
Yeah.
And great performances from both of them as that was happening.
Yes, so awesome.
The Rule of Jenny Penn is a fantastic movie. I can't recommend it enough. And with that said...
Oh, you can find me here on YouTube every weeknight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I stream and talk about all kinds of groovy things like old men killing each other, monsters, madman, boobs and blood, and of course, Satan. How about you?
Y'all know me, I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at various social media platforms, but these days I primarily use Blue Sky, so follow me on there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way, but we will certainly accept more. With that said, my fellow Gorehounds, I want you to comment below, and be sure to comment below using the hashtag elder abuse. Use the hashtag elder abuse, that way I know. That way Jack knows. That way the whole world knows that you are gonna make Geoffrey Rush lick Jenny Penn's asshole. Enough said.
Yeah, enough said.
Peace out, my fellow Gorehounds.